Since 2009, I've always said to people, if you don't know what to do, just right-click anywhere and everywhere. When you've got things selected, when you haven't got things selected, everything's going on to right-click menus. Never more so than with 2011. There's several things, for instance. Firstly, if I wanted to find all the examples of this tree in the drawing, so I've zoomed to that tree, I pick on that tree there, I highlight it. When I pick on that tree, you'll see it's giving me an option of block, reference, hatch or none. And what I've got down here, there's a little option called selection cycling. So when I've got two objects over the top of each other, like I had there, I can actually toggle between the hatch or the block. So when I've got objects on top of each other, it gives you that flexibility with cycle on down here, which has always been available in AutoCAD. It's been a well-hidden secret. You had to use Control, Shift and pick to do the cycle on. But cycle on here allows you, when you select an object that's over the top of another object, to pick which object you want to select. So if I want to pick that hatch, I can pick that hatch. That's got the hatch. Okay, so if I undo that, bring it back in. I'll turn cycling off just for the moment. Equally, if I want to find, I've got a tree here, if I want to find other examples of that tree in the drawing, if I right-click, I've got an option now to select similar. What this allows us to do is select all the objects that are similar to the one I've selected. So I pick that, it picks all the trees in the drawing instantly. Okay, so if I want to delete them, just hit delete, that's got them. If I want to pick on the shadows, right-click, select similar, that's got all those, delete those. Just undo to bring them back. So select similar is very useful for finding lots of information in the drawing that is very similar. Equally, if you were looking at a planting drawing, so if you're going to open a planting drawing now, if I wanted to find all my planting areas in the drawing, all I've got to do is pick on one planting area, right-click, and go select similar. That finds all the planting beds in the drawing. So I can copy and paste them into another drawing or delete them or do whatever I want to. And again, you do the same for hedges, etc. So select similar is very, very useful as a selection tool. The other thing you have, again, well hidden, is the ability to hide or isolate objects. When you've got a drawing like we've got here, you've got the option, or sometimes when it gets a bit congested, zoom to an area like this, it may well be that what you want to do is turn things off or isolate things to work on them. So where this drawing's quite cluttered, if I wanted to get rid of these trees here, I can right-click, select similar, and what I want to do is actually hide them. I'm not turning the layer off, I just want to hide them temporarily. So I can right-click, I've got an option here to hide the objects. So if I hide the objects, it only hides the selected objects. It hasn't changed any layer properties at all. The layer's still on. Everything that's related to those trees is still on, but I've just effectively hidden them temporarily. That will persist to a plot. So if I plotted this drawing now, those trees won't appear. But if I close the drawing down and reopen the drawing, everything appears back as normal. How do I get those back again? Right-click. Under Isolate, I've got the option to end the object isolation. So you can turn things on and off. Equally, if you were working on a drawing, you just wanted to sort of isolate something. So I just want to isolate the planting beds to work on. Again, I can go to select similar, right-click, and what I can do is I can now isolate those objects. So what this has done is just isolated for me the objects I want to work on. And you can actually add levels of isolation and levels of hiding of features, but you've only got one option to bring everything back again. As I said, that will persist through to a plot. So if I plotted this now, that's what I would get. But if I close the drawing down and reopen it, it brings everything back again. Again, right-click, object isolation. That will end the object isolation. That brings everything back again. That's actually, when I started using that, I thought, oh, it's clever, but bit gimmicky. But when you start using CAD and you've got very complicated drawings, you just want to get rid of something quickly, you can isolate it, work on it, and then bring it back again. And you don't have to worry about the layers it's on, so you can have objects on 2 or 3 layers. As I'm picking here, I can just literally pick a crossing window around these features here, right click, and I can isolate. It's only isolating those objects irrespective of the layers, and again bring that back again.